Sorry guys. I made a mistake and I hit the wrong button and all this stuff. So if you're here on the last one, come over to this one. All right. So I've made a mistake and we'll give everybody just a second to get in here. Sorry. I made a complete boo-boo. I've got fat fingers and sorry. Uh G23, I just sent you the new link. I don't know if you got it. Uh, we're going to try to make this work. So, sorry everybody, but it has been a while for me on the whole uploading and everything. Life is crazy, life is busy. So there is that. I went to show you guys this video and my knuckleheadedness hit end, thinking that it was going to end the video that I was showing you guys, which was this.
Impact.
And when I saw the end pop up, I thought it was the end for everything. So, sorry. So, forgive me on that. Technology has not been my friend today. So, yeah, it's just a little bit of trace there. So, hold on just a second, guys. I'm trying to get GT3 back in here. Give me just a second. So, yeah, I'm here. I'm having some technical difficulties. Give me just a second, guys. I accidentally ended the last stream and do you want me to add it in here, G2C? G2C, there's the link right there if you want to grab it real quick before I delete it. I don't know if you can or not. Yeah, go ahead. I made a mistake a minute ago. I'll add you back in here. There we go. All right. So there we go, G2C. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right. I was like, all of a sudden it was like 29 seconds and live stream over. I'm like, wow, that's the shortest live stream I've ever been on.
Well, so I've got fat fingers, and I was showing that clip at that match a couple months ago, and I saw where it said end, and I was like, oh, well, that must mean it ends the clip that's showing. No, it ended everything. Oh,
Yeah, it's a kind of weird with that kind of stuff, especially when
yeah,
you're doing it from yourself.
yeah. I do everything from my cell phone, so it's like, ugh. All
So
right. So
I see Michael Hurtneck and MCK are saying hey to me. So what's up, guys?
yeah, we got John H here. Mr. MC is here also. Michael Dunn is here. Sorry, we had technical issues on the last one. Forgive me. So I think we finally got it fixed now. But so what we're going to kind of talk about today, guys, it's a little bit different. So we're going to talk about how if you put a lot of energy into practicing continuously, how do you put that same energy into your career field, your job, so on and so forth? Or is it more of a one-sided coin? And we're going to talk a little bit about both of our opinions on it. So there's that, and we'll let Mr. G23 start off with that.
So, like, if you're really, because a lot of us, are always hyper vigilant about our surroundings and stuff. So even when you're at work, you can be paying attention to your surroundings, trying to figure out, you know, what could be a risk, of either injury or, potential uh, entry point, that could be used. So there's a few different things you can go with that way. I see MCs out there, Michael Dunn.
I agree with you. Um, and it kind of goes hand over foot with both of them. If you're putting in the hypervigilance and the energy into one, why aren't you transpiring this energy into both? And I'm just as bad as the next guy is about on a pretty day outside. The last thing I want to do is be at work. I'm just as bad as the next person is on that. So I think if we're going to put in hours and hours and hours of practice into our hobby, we need to put that same amount of energy into our profession, our career, our trade, so on and so forth.
Oh yeah, and and just like when we do dry fire practice and stuff like that, you can still practice when you're at work. I'm not dry fire practice, of course, but um, there's still parts of your job that you want to keep practicing so you build that muscle of memory. Like I drive forklift, and so when I first started out driving forklift, I was always looking at the controls, and trying to really, pay attention. Now I'm at the point where I can drive the forklift with just my fingertips, and I'm not even looking at what the controls are. I'm looking at what my surrounding is.
I agree with you there. Um, I I'm just like yourself. I've driven heavy equipment at work for years and things like that. Um, and MC kind of says it best right up here where he says some energy invested lies with where the passion and the interest is. He's correct about that, and I don't disagree with that. But if we if we don't invest the same type of energy into our job that allows us to do our hobby, it causes us issues when we have to supply things for said hobby. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and but I think it's a different kind, of energy and stuff that we're applying between the two. Because if you're interested in something, you're gonna be able to really like pay attention, and you're gonna enjoy doing it way more than if you've been at, say, the same company for 5 years, 10 years. Burnout is real. And so sometimes, you don't put that same amount of effort in every day, but you may put that same amount of effort into your hobby. So there's times where you kind of got to push through this drive, and there's times where I've been like, I'm just gonna walk out. I'm done with this job. And you just got to take time and breathe, and it happens.
No, I agree with you. But I think as we're in a job for the longer that we are, and I've seen this a lot with myself at different jobs that I've been at and things like that, where we become complacent. But I've also seen it at the firearms range where we become complacent to our surroundings and as what our hobby is. I mean, there's very, very fine lines of balance and controlled chaos between our hobbies that we all enjoy. We all wouldn't be here if we all didn't enjoy this hobby. And I think that's a hard thing for a lot of people to understand is like we can't become complacent.
So, like, I don't go to a per se range. Um, I go out in the mountains, and so of course, my I've got to pay attention to snakes. I've got to pay attention to animals because if you're in the wrong spot during rutting season, you're gonna have a world of hurt. Um, early spring, you've got bears coming out of hibernation, and they're hungry.
Oh, I absolutely agree. Um, Michael Dunn kind of says it best right here. Balance is key, and he's right. I mean, really. So,
and and your coworkers um can make a big difference, because if you don't get along with your coworkers, and it's not like, hey, I'm gonna go have a barbecue with these guys, or I'm gonna go have a cold beer with these guys. When you're at work and you just hate the people that you're there with, that's gonna be a big impact versus, hey, I really love my hobby, and I can do my hobby and not have anybody else around, or I can do my hobby with 60 different people, and we all love the same thing, versus this person that I work with decides that they don't want to do their job, so now I got to pick up my job and their job, and if it keeps going on all the time, you start getting resentment towards them.
oh, I don't disagree at all. With that statement, but that kind of goes hand in foot with range time too. If you're going to the range with somebody that doesn't practice proper fundamentals and they're showing you bad fundamentals, it correlates and translates to the way you are as a shooter, how accurate you are, so on and so forth. So that's a key point there. Sorry, Mr. Affordable. I saw you there and I figured I'd add you in.
Oh, you're good.
We have
What's
Mr.
going on,
Affordable
bud?
Henry with us tonight.
Hey, thanks for inviting me. Sorry I'm late.
No, you're good, dude. I crashed the first live. So we're talking about how we create balance between our hobbies and our careers and our jobs. And we correlate that with our skill sets that we've developed as firearms enthusiasts, range enthusiasts, competition shooters, so on and so forth.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty easy for me because I mean I am an instructor, so that's what I do every day.
So you get what we're saying about bad fundamentals create bad marksmanship and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. If you don't have your fundamentals right, then I mean you're not gonna really progress past that at any point.
I agree.
Well,
Go
that
ahead,
and
Jason.
if you don't have your fundamentals right, and say, you know, if you have a buddy that you're going to the range with or you're going shooting with, and their fundamentals are just not right, I'm going to say something, you know, and be like, hey, you know, and I'm going to try to work with them a little bit. And if it keeps going on, then I'm just going to be like, you know what? Hey, I really appreciate that you're into the thing, but because of your lack of complacency, I just don't, you know, feel comfortable being at the range with you.
Oh, well, if they're being unsafe, maybe, yeah. I mean, my friends, you know, they just like to shoot. And you know, they're not great marksmen. You know, they're definitely not as into it as I am, but they do own guns and they do like to go to the range once in a while and shoot. But they're not unsafe with the guns, so I would never try to discourage them from shooting. In fact, I would do the opposite. I hope sometime that they like it enough that they would sign up for a class, want to take a private lesson or something.
So what kind of instructing do you do, Mr. Affordable?
So I teach private lessons. I teach basic pistol classes. I teach the Tennessee carry permit class, and I teach a couple of what I call skill builders. So drawing from holster and shooting like defensive style shooting, so like shooting faster but not worrying so much about the accuracy kind of thing. That type of stuff.
So what's the number one fundamental aspect that you've seen in your time as an instructor? I don't know how long you've been an instructor now, but the number one fundamental thing that seems to correlate between, let's say, 3 out of every 5 students.
Like thing that they can't seem to get right, or
Correct.
That I would say grip. Again, I mostly shoot, or I mostly teach pistols, and that's what I mostly shoot too. But the grip for sure.
Is it because so I'm asking these questions. It's kind of a broad question, so don't think too much into the question when I ask this.
Okay.
Is it because people are buying firearms where frames are too big, or they're used to how their dad or their grandpa or their uncle or their cousin's brother taught them how to shoot?
You know, I will say those type of people do not tend to take classes.
I agree.
So I don't see that problem. It's more so the new students that it's a new concept. It's a new, you know, I mean, for most people, the way you grip a pistol is a new muscle movement entirely. It's because there's nothing else that we do in this world and where we put our hands in that way.
I agree. 100%.
That, and, you know, for some people, depending upon, they may grip a striker fire, and maybe they put too much finger or not enough finger on the trigger, or they're running a little looser of a grip versus if they're running like a revolver. I've seen that, where they seem to think that just because it's a striker, you don't have to run that as tight of a grip. And yeah, if you're not running a tight grip, you're going to have issues.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to share this chat. So,
Oh no, you're good.
Yeah.
I'm in complete agreement with you, G23, but there's also the fine line of having too much grip, of squeezing too hard, so on and so forth.
Oh yeah, you're definitely not trying to have a death grip on it.
And I think that's some little unknown fact about me. When I was in law enforcement, I was a weapons instructor. So I'm kind of in the same lines as Mr. Affordable over here drinking out of his Winnie the Pooh honey cup.
Tops Knives, man.
What is it?
It's Tops Knives.
Oh, it looks like a Winnie the Pooh honey cup.
It does
From this
actually,
angle?
yeah, from that side, yeah.
So I was a weapons instructor when I was in law enforcement. And a lot of those guys, they've been doing it for years. They're complacent. When you get a guy that's 23 years old as your weapons instructor and you're in your 40s, you don't want to listen to the 23-year-old kid. And that seems to be a big hurdle for a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, I experienced that when I was in the military. I joined the Air Force when I was 26, so I was the older guy. So I had a lot of supervisors that were my age or some even younger, which does make it tough. So I can admit that, been through that.
And it almost makes it for a miserable time, to be honest with you. But it's surprising how close you and I are to each other, Mr. Affordable.
Yeah. Similar journeys.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, but highway wise, how close you and I are to each other.
That's true. Yeah, you're only, what did I say, an hour away, something like that.
I don't even think I'm a complete hour. So I'm 30 minutes north of Springfield.
Yeah.
Wherever Springfield is relative to you.
Yeah.
So
you asked me that question about the fundamentals, and you mainly teach rifles, right? So or do rifles. So what would you say is the fundamental with rifles that people struggle with?
Breathing.
Because that's my number 2. It's the one that with pistols, it's not as important, but it's still definitely important. And it's also the one that definitely relates to everyday life, which was the question.
You would be shocked about guys that have been shooting for years and they get scared over 400 yards, 500 yards. They forget everything that they can do at 400 and 500 yards. It's actually very amazing to see it happen, because it's like, you just hit 350. We're only going 50 more yards. And they just freak out. And then when you start going to 1,000.
You just unmuted itself, sorry. Apologies.
Oh no, you're fine, dude.
I got the NBA Finals game on here, and TV just magically unmuted itself somehow.
I'm watching the College World Series, the women's college.
Which team?
Right now it's Texas and Arizona in an elimination game.
Gotcha. I'm a huge Oklahoma fan, And my Oklahoma women are in both the Women's College World Series, and they're playing Florida right now in the Super Regionals. If they win, they move on. So pretty excited about that. Sooners
Well,
showing up.
I've got UCLA beating Oklahoma in 2.
Really? Okay.
We're
know-
going to have a sports rivalry on this conversation.
No, as long as he didn't say Texas, we're good.
Well, I'm a Florida fan, so
Oh,
Texas.
okay.
The coach for Texas was the former Duck coach out of the Pac-12, and he left on some bad terms out of the Pac-12, and I'd really like to see him lose tonight.
Yeah.
So John H. just said he scared the RO several times without trying. What did you do, Mr. John?
Well, so one of the reasons why I've kind of gone away from some ranges is the RO. They can be really, really Nazis, if you want to go that way. I mean, there's times where, I want to shoot a little faster than 1 round a second.
Yeah.
And there's been a couple times where, hey, if you double tap, they're right over there. And they're like, you're going to end up hurting somebody, like, oh, and they're freaking out. And you're like, dude, you can see I double tapped and put it in the same damn hole. What are you talking about? I'm going to hurt somebody.
Yeah, and I could speak to that a little bit because that was my first job coming out of the military. I was a range safety officer. And man, that's a high stress job because you're constantly dealing with people who you don't know them and you don't know what their experience is with guns. And so, yes, there are some, like G23 just said, that they're on you in a second. For me, when I was doing it, if someone did that, I would maybe keep an eye on them. And then if they showed that they were being unsafe doing that, then, or they were explicitly breaking a rule of the range, then I might go have a conversation with them. But I wouldn't say it was like, you shouldn't do that. Don't ever do that again. Like it hardly ever turned into that. Unless they were doing something so ridiculously unsafe that they were literally going to hurt someone.
Now you were. Go ahead, G23.
So I had one experience with a RO, and I was the only guy at the range. And so yeah, every once in a while I would double tap, and then probably the second time I double tapped, he was like, if you do that one more time, then I'm going to kick you out of here and you'll never be back here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? You don't have to worry about it. I'm gone.
Yeah, that's too much. Nope. That's not the way to handle that at all. I know exactly what you're talking about, that because we did have guys that would do that. And no, that's just one where you go over, you have a polite conversation with them, say, hey, man, I just want to remind you, our rules say no more than 2 shots per second or whatever it was. I can't remember exactly. But, as for me, as long as they were maintaining control of the firearm, I honestly didn't care. Because we rented fully automatic guns. So why do I care if someone's double tapping?
Where did you, if you don't mind saying, where did you RO at?
That was at a range in Oklahoma City. It's
Okay.
One of the biggest ranges in the country. So they had like 60 lanes, plus an archery range. So yeah, if you just want to, if y'all really want to know, just Google Oklahoma City gun range. You'll figure it out pretty quick.
Gotcha.
If you were in Oklahoma City, did you ever run over to Tulsa for Wanamaker?
I have been to Wanamaker. Yeah. Yep. I went one time in 2017, I think it was.
Nice. So John said he scared the RO because the 180 was different between ISPA and the indoor pin shooting. and the other one was he raised a barrel up in ISPA. And he didn't have his finger visible outside the trigger, kind of bent, but not on the guard, not as evident from his view.
Mm-hmm.
John, what are you doing? You know better than that.
Yeah, got to have that finger high up on the frame.
Yeah. That's my one problem with shooting IPSC, USPA, or USPSA, and bowling pin matches, is I've ran 3-gun for a lot of years, and the 3-gun rules are totally different. And so I'm so used to running 3-gun rules that what's good in 3-gun's not exactly good for USPSA or ISPA or IPSC or bowling pin matches. And so I've gotten myself in quite a bit of trouble at a few different matches for that.
Hey, Vanessa Kitty joined. Hi,
Yeah, I was about to
Vanessa.
say Miss Vanessa joined in. Alex Duke showed up. So Alex is a buddy of mine he's in Virginia. I've been helping him. We've been talking quite a bit about his 338 Lapua. He's been having some issues with load development and splitting cases. So he has that. MC says open to the public ranges are by the book and strict on the rules, as risk for an accident is higher than people that are members of private clubs. I agree to disagree with that, because I've seen just as many issues happen at a private club that I've seen happen at a public range.
Yeah, and on that note, a lot of the concern is also damage to equipment. I mean, I've spent so much time after hours repairing lanes because of stuff like that. So that is also a concern.
I agree. I mean, you have these facilities that invest tens and hundreds and thousands of dollars into nice equipment they don't want to destroy. Look at Montgomery County, for an example.
Yeah.
We both shoot down at Montgomery County, and they've been closed for how long because they're having to rebuild from guys just destroying equipment down there.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I guess are they still rebuilding the rifle range too? Last time I checked.
Yeah, so
I know the pistols are not open for sure, but the rifle range they were working on.
So they're still building it based on, I don't know if you watch any of my videos, but my buddy Hunter that does some videos with me, he's in Clarksville.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where him and I used to go a lot, was down there.
Sure.
And it's still closed. So he hasn't been to the range with me in quite a while.
Oh, so it's still closed to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't know that, because I've been out there for some classes. My buddy Shane, I had him on my channel a couple weeks ago, teaches classes out there. So they're still running some classes. I know that, but I guess it's not fully open to the public. That's why I asked about the rifle range.
Did something happen down there that caused it to close, or was it just much needed maintenance?
I think it was just maintenance.
Because it seemed like very odd timing. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, it's peak season right now. They should be roaring with business right now, and I guess they're not.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying is I didn't know if something happened down there. That's kind of what Hunter was asking me. It's like, did something happen? Do you know? Man, I don't know. You live in Clarksville. I know.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything like that.
I didn't know, like, if Shane had mentioned anything or not.
Mm-mm.
But so Miss Vanessa, we have Cy Tiger here. Hi, Cy. Miss Vanessa Kitty says private clubs in these parts are virtually impossible to get into, cost, and extremely long wait times. That is every private club I've ever joined. For the one of the private clubs that I'm an actual member of, I sat on their private wait list for 3 years waiting to
Mhm.
get in, even the level that I shoot at. So
There's
it's
one pretty close to me called MTSA. I don't know if you've heard of that one. But it's like it's only like $200 a year, and then you also have to be a member of the NRA, and then you go attend their what you call it, like their training or whatever. It's just like range procedure, learn their range procedures and stuff. And it's a private first come first serve outdoor range.
I'm a member of Strategic Edge down there on the
Oh
south side of
yeah,
Nashville.
yeah. I keep meaning to go out there too.
Dude, we shoot F class down there at Strategic Edge. That's probably some of the hardest F class matches I've ever shot in my life. I mean, it is the guys in Nashville that shoot F class, they're way different than a lot of the F class guys I've ever shot with, to be honest with you.
Oh, well, I don't really know what F class is, but I guess that means they're pretty good.
Bintrest style shooting.
Oh, okay.
But Strategic Edge has electronic targets at 1,200 yards. They have an electronic target, so they've got a camera system hooked up on everything, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty nice down there.
Yeah.
Alex Duke says, I shot a groundhog with one of the Barnes bullets. I can send you a pic if I want to see it or what was left. I'm good, dude.
Yeah.
I've smoked a groundhog with my Lapua before.
Wow. Did it explode? I mean,
yeah, I mean, it was decimated.
I had a buddy in the military that he was from Minnesota, and he used to tell me about what they did with groundhogs up there. So
I
very very similar story.
Yeah, last year on my property, I killed 14 groundhogs last year. And there's about 25 that are back. I think they came back with vengeance. So it's time for me to do some groundhog cleanup around here again. I joined a club this year. Archery takes priority part of the season, but during the week it's not so busy, so I work around it. I mean, archery is very big where I am. I don't know how it is where you are. I mean, we're not far from each other, but archery is actually pretty big here. What about where you are? Affordable?
Not really. I honestly don't even know where the nearest archery range is. That's something I would have to look up. I mean, I'd imagine there's one somewhere in Nashville.
And then you got Clarksville Archery.
Yeah.
Academy's got an archery, or they used to have a archery there in Clarksville. I don't know if they still do. So, MC, I've seen pics of a headshot with the deer with the 50 BMG. I don't think there was much left of it.
Yeah.
So, Mad Sexy is here. I am still on YouTube. Just matches take priority over me filming videos. So that is my number one thing. I'm still here. I just haven't created videos in a while. Blame Mr. G23. He got me back on last night.
You can't blame me because Chris was like, hey, I would love to get Bending Ballistics on, but he can't make my Wednesday night show. So I'm like, well, if he wants to come on Saturday, send him a link.
Yeah, I mean, normally Saturdays I can join, like how you're So 6 o'clock your time is a lot later here than what it is there. So that works normally pretty good for me. MC says our club has 120 acres, 30 target archery courses as well. Course is well away from pistol and rifle ranges, as they should be. You don't bring a bow to a firearm fight. Just saying.
So the club that I'm thinking about joining, I've really been contemplating it. There's a indoor outdoor range. They offer 3-gun and skeet and all that, but they also have private fishing and archery. So, and there's hiking courses, hiking paths that you can go on. It's all private. There's also a huge pavilion outside that has barbecue pits and stuff. So pretty nice.
There's some really good ranges in Minnesota, Michael. I'll send you links to some of them that we shoot at. And Boom Country is up by you also. I'm not exactly sure where he is.
And just remember, everyone, forestry land is, as long as you're not near camping spots, you're not shooting across roads, stuff like that, and you're not near any hiking paths, you can shoot on forestry land. You can also shoot on BLM, the Bureau of Land Management. Those are all places you can shoot, and you can go onto their websites, and they'll kind of have areas that are like off-limit areas that are like camping spots and highly populated, rec areas.
Yeah, what Vanessa Kitty just said is exactly what I was going to say. It depends on the state that you're in.
Because I know Kentucky does not allow that at all. Kentucky Fish and Wildlife Land is exactly that, fish and wildlife land. Like, you cannot shoot on fish and wildlife land in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
I know Tennessee's different though, right?
Tennessee, we have what did he call them? WMAs. We have something like that, and some of them have gun ranges on them, and most of the time they require you to have like a hunter's education course or something, or you might have to have a hunter's license to go use the range, but that's they do exist. They are out there, but you can't just go anywhere, like find some land and just go out and start shooting.
So if it belongs to the Bureau of Land Management, that's federal, and they do allow shooting on their land. But again, you want to definitely double check your states, because every state that has BLM land has an actual website, and there you can double check where you can and can't, shoot on their property.
Okay.
Because if you're shooting in the wrong spot, you're looking at a federal crime. You're not looking at a state crime.
Yeah.
Which means you lose your license you lose your rights forever. There is no restoring your rights once you lose them on a federal charge, unless you can get the President of the United States to give you a pardon.
I
agree.
Yeah.
So Mad Sexy wants to know a little bit about you, Mr. Affordable.
All right. So Mad Sexy.
You can drop your link in the comment if you want.
I actually don't know how to do that. I don't have the. They won't let me type anything.
You'd have to pull up the YouTube and pop the chat out of the YouTube.
Okay.
Live stream.
Mm-hmm.
And then if he's made you a mod, you can pop your channel link in there. If you don't have a blue wrench, then you can't do it.
Gotcha.
Okay, I know John is a moderator. John H. If you could do me a solid, can you drop Mr. Affordable Armory's channel in the chat and Mr. G23's channel in the chat, please?
Yeah. So, well, to answer the question, yeah, I have a channel called Affordable Armory, and I talk about guns.
Oh, Eagle Run is here.
That are basically what's affordable to the average person. I mainly focus on pistols, and as I was talking about earlier in the chat, I do teach for a living. So I am a firearms instructor. I mostly teach pistols. And so I've been doing the YouTube thing for a couple years. It's something that when I got into guns, I thought that you had to get a Glock or better, there and up. And everyone said not to get the cheap guns. And so it's been my mission to find out if that's true or not. So
All I know is I've been subscribed to you for a couple days now.
a couple days. You were like in the low hundreds on my subscribers a long time.
And I definitely enjoy the content. So
I appreciate that.
I don't mean to be rude to anybody that's in the firearms industry that I subscribe to your channel, but I don't enjoy firearms content, so I don't watch firearms content. No offense.
Hey, it is what it is.
Oh,
thank you, Mad Sexy. I appreciate that.
So it's nothing against anybody in the firearms industry. I just don't enjoy firearms content. I'm a master armor, and I subsidize my income by shooting competitions. So last thing I really want to do is watch somebody else shoot a firearm. No offense. I don't mean that condescendingly at all.
No, I hear you. I totally get it. It'd be like, I don't know. Is it like too much of a good thing is a bad thing kind of deal?
Yeah. Yes and no. You got to realize, with being a master armor and a gunsmith, it comes with its own headache of things you see, if that makes sense. I'm sure you've seen some crazy stuff being a weapons instructor.
Sure, yeah.
But I've seen guys where they had a squib in their round, and literally right after they had that squib and it didn't come out, they decided to shoot another round.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So I mean, I understand what you're saying there, because like I drive forklift every day, and I've done it for like 20 years. And when I'm like, if I'm at a store or someplace and I see a forklift driver, I can just sit there and pick apart their driving. Like, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. I watched a guy light up a cigarette next to a propane forklift.
Awesome. Yeah.
I mean, that's healthy.
That's terrifying. You saw a video of that, or you saw a person do that in person?
No, I saw it in person.
Wow.
I asked him, I was like, well, are you going to change the tank while you're there? I mean, I was just kind of being a smart ass at that point,
Yeah. So can I answer this question real quick?
Yeah, that's why I highlighted it.
The Taurus G series of pistols are fantastic. I started my channel with the Taurus G2C, and I've put over 3,000 rounds through that gun, run it through several classes, which is always funny because I don't know if you guys have ever been to a pistol class, but a lot of times pretty much everyone's, oh, what are you shooting? Oh, I got a staccato. And oh, what are you shooting? Oh, I got the shadow systems, blah, blah, blah. Or, oh. I got this, $4,000 1911. Cool. What are you shooting? I got a Taurus G2C, and then they never want to talk to me again. So, but anyway, the Taurus G2C was fantastic. The G3C has been fantastic. The G3, great gun. The GX4 is so far been very good. It took a little work on that one, probably just because it's a micro pistol. It's a little more difficult to shoot. But that one is running great. So yeah, I'm very impressed with the Taurus. The original ones, the Eagle Run just mentioned, the PT-111, that gun sucked. So I'll tell you straight up that the trigger on that thing was terrible. Worst trigger ever. But so they've come a long way. The newer ones are fantastic.
That's
So,
great.
Your opinion, Taurus G3C or a Canik? Which one, if you were going to buy,
That's
which
so
one
tough.
would you go and say,
That's-
okay, because they're right about the same price point.
Mhm.
So if you were a new purchaser, never owned a firearm, which one would you go with?
So I did a top 5 video a while back, and Taurus was 1 and Canik was 2. And I'll keep it that way because you mentioned if they were the same price. If they're the same price, then Canik takes the win. But they're not the same price. So it's about $100 difference there.
Just so you're aware, I'm a very large proponent of Canik owner.
Mm-hmm.
I have just about every model of Canik that has ever been. See ya, Eagle. That they've made. I shot for Century Arms for years in 3-gun. So my environment, or not environment, my experience with Canik has been very good.
Oh yeah, and I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I mean, if you could go all the way up to the under $500 category, Canik is number 1, hands down. But when you get to that $300 to $400 category, that's when it breaks down a little bit, and that's when I put Taurus ahead of it.
I don't argue that at all. I can remember when the V2 Caniks were $300, and everybody talked mad crap about them. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, I do actually. That was the original TP9 with the
Double action.
the little decocker button on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you can still find, by the way. They still sell those.
I have a couple of them. I have one that Canik actually built for me for a race gun, for 3-gun. It's actually in my Canik TP9 versus SFX video, where it's been, and that pistol has been driven very hard and put away very wet multiple different times. It's a little ragged out. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably pushing 25 to 30,000 rounds through it.
Oh, wow.
And it still chucks lead like it was brand new.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've got a couple Caniks. Excuse me, I have one Canik, and I've shot a couple other ones that I've reviewed on the channel. The SFX that you mentioned, I have reviewed that one, but I own the new Mete SFX, which is a fantastic gun. Absolutely love it. And then I did the subcompact, which was a really nice gun. And where I think Canik wins as far as value is they give you everything you need right off the bat. Like if it's optics ready, you get the plates in the box. They give you a holster with the gun. Every Canik ever has come with a holster, except for maybe the Canik 1 series. And then, I mean, they give you like different sights. They give you interchangeable mag releases, all sorts of stuff. So they pack more value into their guns than anybody else does.
And
we have Mr. Ryan Rafferty with us.
Don't they give you 3 mags instead of the standard 2 mags that most of the companies give you?
I don't think so. I don't think I've seen one come with 3. I could be
I think
wrong.
the Rival comes with 3 now.
It might, yeah. That's a good. I'll have to look into that.
I'm
But
not sure.
mechanic mags are also fairly easy to get. So,
You're smoking crack.
are you kidding me?
No,
You
they're
find,
pretty much sold out right now,
Do
almost
you want me to
everywhere.
send you some? I've got some at my store. I
do you really?
swear to
I,
you, yeah.
The
I'm pretty
actual
sure.
mechanic brand.
I'm pretty sure that Gene rolling reloading from the hot pot would love to talk to you about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I do too. Are they the actual Canic brand or are they Duramac?
Mechanic.
PM me the price.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I'll after we get off here, I'll check and make sure that we still have them, and I'll send them to you.
is it the 21 or the 18 round and the 20 rounds that y'all have?
We typically carry the 18 rounds, and I think we had some of the 20 rounds as well.
Okay. Yeah, let me know the price and how many you have.
Okay.
Because I've got a lot of friends down in Clarksville that have Canics also that are hunting for mags. So if you have quite a few, I can probably have you sold out in no time.
Okay.
So Mr. Ryan Rafferty, he is Boom Country. He shoots NRL, PRS, things like that. But he used to be big into archery shooting, he said. But if you guys haven't checked out Ryan Rafferty or Boom Country on Instagram, you should go check out his Cerakote. It's probably one of the best Cerakote artists I've seen in a very long time. So
I would love to be back on Instagram and have all my people that I was subscribed to and all the ones that were subscribed to me back. I actually had a larger following on Instagram than I have on YouTube, which is kind of funny. But I'm banned for life.
Oh wow. I haven't used Instagram in so long. When I first started my channel, I was doing both, and I was just kind of like making a post on Instagram saying that I had a YouTube video up. But now I post so regularly that I don't really need to do that anymore.
So, oh, go ahead.
When I was on Instagram, I had almost 1,000 people following me over there, and I had barely been on there for like 2.5 months when Facebook decided to nuke my Facebook and my Instagram account in one. They're like, "You're just done."
So Mr. John H says my rival came with 218 mags. Midway has the 20 round mag, or had. I haven't seen them on there in quite a while.
All right.
And they were the pro mags, I'm sure. Yep. Yeah, Mr. Ryan Rafferty shoots prairie dogs, coyote, long range PRS. Ryan, if you want to jump on, I can send you the new link. I accidentally crashed the other one because I got fat fingers. But what triggers are you running now in your pistols? Affordable?
I pretty much run all stock triggers.
Nothing you've Gucci'd out, nothing you've done.
I have my very first pistol I ever bought is a Smith & Wesson M&P, and I put the Apex trigger and spring kit in it. And I don't really shoot that gun very much anymore. But that's really the only one that I've done. Actually, I take that back. I had a Smith & Wesson SD9 VE. I also put the Apex trigger and spring in that.
Gotcha.
That's about it.
Have you messed with any of the new Keltec stuff that they've come out with this year?
Keltec?
Mm-hmm.
I have not. No. You talking about the new P15 and stuff like that? No, I haven't even seen one of those yet.
Okay. Are you a Keltec person or no?
I mean, I like some Keltecs. I'm not like a fanboy or anything, but I do own a Sub 2000. It's actually the second one I've owned, and I don't know. The pistols are okay. They're kind of weird, but I don't know. They make unique guns. Let's just say that.
They do. And to answer Mad Sexy's question, yes, I did. They do make odd things. I did just win their PMR 30 at a 3-gun match, and because Caltech's trying to get back into the 3-gun side of things and the pistol caliber carbine, because they've got Sub 2000, they've got another PCC that they just dropped. I don't remember which one it is. I can't remember.
I don't know.
So there's two. So I own the KSG. I love that shotgun, that bullpup. But the one thing I do really like about Caltech is if they change any certain thing on any of their firearms, like Gen 2, Gen 3, they automatically will allow you to send your firearm in for free, and they'll do those same upgrades to the Gen 1s or the Gen 2s, and, send it back to you. So it's kind of cool that they do that kind of stuff.
As they should. I mean, well, not as they should, but every company should stand behind their product. Lifetime warranty means lifetime warranty.
Well, yeah. And that's where a lot of the companies are like, okay, well, it's a lifetime warranty. If something breaks, we're going to fix it. But these guys aren't. Nothing has to break. So if say you have a Sub 2000 Gen 1, and then the Gen 2 comes out, and they've decided, you know what, we went away from that trigger, and now we're using a different trigger with a different spring kit, because everything's now, a nice, crisper, smoother pull. You can send it in, and they'll put that Gen 2 trigger in there. And then if something like a Gen 3 comes out and it gets even better, you can send it back in, and they'll do the same thing. They'll keep upgrading it for free.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but if y'all have heard of M Carbo, they make a lot of aftermarket parts for specifically Keltec, but lots of other guns too. They actually partnered with M Carbo, and like if you buy all their stuff, they'll install that stuff for you too.
I'm getting the M Carbo kit for my PMR 30 that I won at my last 3-gun match. I put 750 rounds to it the first day we shot it. CCI sent me a case of 22 mag ammo, and I haven't had a single issue out of it, but everybody keeps saying at 1,000 rounds is where you start having issues. So I'm gonna bite the bullet and put the M Carbo stuff in there. Mad Sexy wants to know, what do you think about the SCCY company? I have no experience with SCCY. I'm not going to pretend like I do.
It's Craft Sky, just so you know. That's
so Sky, their Gen 1s were very hit and miss. Some were fantastic, some were just complete trash, and I wouldn't trust my life with them. But now here this year, they came out with a couple different new pistols, and what I have heard, I have not been able to actually try any of them. They've gotten way better. and they've been a lot more reliable. So I don't know if I would say I'd run out and buy one, but if I had a chance to try one, I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, and I mean they're on, I believe, Gen 3 now. I have a Gen 2 of the CPX2. So they make two guns, well, technically three guns. They make the CPX 1 and 2, which are the same gun, but one has a manual safety and one doesn't. And then they make the CPX 3 and 4, which are the same gun with the same difference, manual safety or not. And that one's in 380. And then now they have the DVG, which is the striker fired gun. But aside from that, they're really all the same gun. And I have the Gen 2, and they make a red dot ready version. So mine has the red dot on it. And my experience with that particular gun is not so great. Now, everyone who has commented on my videos, they're like, you got to replace the magazines, man. You got to send the magazines back. They'll replace them for you, and it'll be good to go. And I haven't done that yet, so that's why I haven't done a follow-up video yet. And also, I have the M-Carbo trigger and spring kit in for that, and I have not installed it yet. So to be determined. Right now, not thinking too highly about Sky, but I'm not ruling out the possibility that it gets better. So we'll see.
Gotcha. Like I said, I have no experience with it, but so we kind of had this conversation a little bit last night on G23's channel, and I want to ask your opinion. I mean, you are Affordable Armory, so we're gonna kind of go down this tangent a little bit like we did yesterday. Would you rather have quality over quantity or quantity over quality? Or quality over quantity, sorry. I said it the same way both times, sorry.
Right. Quantity over quality or quality over quantity?
Yeah.
As far as a firearm?
Yeah, like let's say, would you rather have 5, and I'm not dogging about any company besides one company, and we discussed that on G23s last night. Would you rather have 5 Andersons or 1 Daniel Defense?
1 Daniel Defense. Yeah. And I'm actually in that phase right now, where I'm going through my safe and seeing what I can get rid of in order to make upgrades like that. Because, I have 3 ARs and none of them are a Daniel Defense for that matter. But, one's a 6-hour, which I would put as like a mid-grade rifle. But yeah, I absolutely would say spend the money and buy once, cry once kind of thing.
So that's kind of what we were talking about last night, but we were kind of more talking about, so I shoot for Anderson Manufacturing in 3-gun. So okay. I've never had really any issues out of Anderson, but I was just starting with Anderson, because everybody wants to talk about Anderson being just pirate ponies or poverty pony, whatever. Which is fine. Like, if that's people's opinion, like, that's fine. Have your opinion. But I also have Daniel Defenses.
Sure.
And I can tell you this, I've outran Daniel Defenses with my Anderson, and I've had just as many failures with my Daniel Defenses as I have with my Andersons. So that's kind of what brought up my question.
Yeah.
Of quantity over quality or quality over quantity.
Sure. And I think everyone's going to have their own experience with that. It's going to be, it's going to be dependent on you and how much you're shooting and how well you're taking care of your guns. With an AR, it's a lot different than a pistol. So, I mean, if you had phrased that same question with pistols, I might have given you a different answer. But me personally, with my first AR was a DPMS, and which I thought was fine at the time when I was just taking it to the range and plinking with it. And then I ran it in a class and found out why that gun absolutely sucks. So that's why I say, if you give me the option, 1 Daniel Defense or 5 Andersons, I'm choosing the Daniel Defense.
I mean, I get that, and I completely agree to some attributes of that. The one company that I just absolutely despise, and if people own things from this company, that's fine. Like, that's your right. Own what you want, spend what you want on your money. But Bear Creek Arsenal, I cannot get behind it, like, at all. Can't get behind it. Spend extra $100, get a Palmetto. I'm sorry.
Sure. Yeah. The same could be said for Radical, or those types of companies that they mass produce stuff with the cheapest parts so that anyone and everyone can buy an AR.
See, and where you say, go with like Palmetto, I've heard and I've seen how their warranty parts, how they treat people in their customer service. And so that really leaves a bad taste in my mouth about the entire company. If you're not going to honor your warranty, then it's like, why do I want to give you money if I'm not going to, if something happens and I can't get my, stuff fixed, and you're telling me now I got to go buy something new.
You did a series of videos on that, didn't you? On your experience with their customer service?
Guns and Barbecue did.
Guns and Barbecue, that's who it was. Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember. I knew it was someone had done that, because I remember commenting on that, because I definitely had a different experience with their customer service. And I don't know why my experience was different, because I posted a really bad video about a Palmetto AR, and they immediately were like, send it back to us. Call this number right now. We're going to get this fixed for you. Okay.
So once I knew somebody who worked a lot with Palmetto State. Mm-hmm. And so I talked to them and told them what was going on with like Guns and Barbecue. Mm-hmm. And so they talked with their person over at PSA, and that guy reached out to Guns and Barbecue, but then, some other stuff happened. But he's not the only one that I've seen that happen with. It's been other people. And so, when you start having them multiple accounts of the same stuff happening, it doesn't matter if it's PSA or say it's Colt, whoever. If you're not going to back your product and you say, I'm giving you a lifetime warranty, but you don't want to honor that lifetime warranty, it really makes you go, why do I want to spend that money when I can go to a company that will honor their warranties?
Yeah. I mean, that can be said about a lot of companies, and I can speak from experience from the last 2 years being in the firearms industry and being at the level of gunsmith that I am. The last 2 years, we've been getting pounded. I mean, so if this was within the last 2 years, gunsmiths and gun stores and everybody involved in the firearms industry in a retail type setting or distribution type setting, we have been getting pounded, man. And I mean, you can look on Google in my area for my gunsmithing shop, and you'll see reviews that says he's just a total asshole and stuff like that. And it's because we've just been getting pounded. And I get tired of the same thing over and over again of somebody not understanding when I fixed it 5 or 6 times. You still don't understand it. Does that make sense? And Ryan, I got to send you a new link. DM me on Instagram.
Well, yeah, and so during this scandemic that we have been going through, I understand, there was a lot of stuff going on, and stuff, slips through the cracks, especially when you're trying to do the same amount of work with half the employees, you know, or you have a high turnover ratio, you're going to have, you know, some bad things go out the door. But you need to honor, you know, and say, hey, guess what? Send it back. We, you know, and we're going to fix it, or, you know, we'll replace it, whatever. You know, when you don't want to honor, you know, your stuff, and you start building a reputation for sending out bad stuff, it really hurts you, you know, and people are going to badmouth your company. Honestly, it's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think a good example of that would be Taurus. They have, over the years, again, their early pistols were terrible. The original PT-111 was a horrible pistol, and they also had a reputation for being bad at honoring their warranty and all sorts of stuff. And over the last couple of years, they've worked really, really hard to change that reputation. So it's not a permanent thing. I think it depends on the leadership at the company at the time, and what their goals are as a company. I mean, some companies, maybe that's just how they are. Maybe they don't understand, or maybe they truly don't care. But I think some do actually make a good faith effort, and they just have to make some changes before that can happen.
I tend to agree with you there to an extent. It's like we were talking last night on G23 channel. None of these companies, whether it's Daniel Defense, Knights Armament, Sig Sauer, any of them, they've all had quality issues. Every single one of them have had a quality issue from somewhere or another. And I get it. Like, quality does happen, but it's like he was saying, they got to stand behind their stuff. And that's one of the things that really makes me glad that I shoot for Anderson. Like, I know if I pick up the phone and a buddy of mine's got an Anderson and he's running with an issue, I mean, I literally pick up the phone. They're local in my state, not local to me, but within my state, they're local. But man, like, Anderson will stand behind their stuff.
Yeah.
So,
like I have a video series, on Rockslide USA, and I understand I ordered it during the pandemic. I didn't care that, you know, their lead time was like 12 weeks, and it took almost 20 weeks before I finally got it. I didn't care about that. But when I was having problems and I was explaining to them, and I even showed them proof of where the problem was, and their response was run 9mm through your 40 cal. Yeah, I completely lose faith in your company at that point. You know, if somebody's telling you, hey, I got a 40 cal, and you say, hey, why don't you run some 124 or 147 grain ammo through there? Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
bye, Mad Sexy.
Yeah. Can I address Alex Duke's comment real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said he respected that what they do is a common thing now for 80% of the people, but a PSA would be fine. And that's exactly what I was getting at with my DPMS. You know, I bought it. It was cheap. I think it was like $500 or something at a gun show. Stupid cheap AR. And it was fine for taking to the range and putting a couple mags through it. Worked great. And then I ran it through a class. That's the difference, right? In a class, you're really running that gun. You're getting into different shooting positions. You're moving and shooting and doing mag changes and slamming it and hitting it on things. And you find out real quick that gun is not going to work. So that's why I don't recommend those kind of guns. That's why I would go with the Daniel Defense.
I respect your opinion.
Yeah.
I respect your opinion on it.
No, feel free to disagree. I mean, I know
No,
you're representing Anderson and all that too, so I'm keeping that in the back of my head. But say what you gotta say.
Like, so I shoot for Anderson. They provide me a rifle.
Sure.
That's it. Like, they provide my rifle that I shoot with, but I also have a Daniel Defense rifle that was provided for me for PRS from Daniel Defense, and I'm not going to say that the quality isn't there in Anderson compared to a Daniel Defense, especially when you take my DDM 4s or my DDM their 308s. When you compare them to my arrows or anything like that, they're without a shadow of a doubt, there's a quality aspect that goes into there. But the nice thing that I like about the Anderson that I physically run, like, it's the barrel is not an Anderson barrel. It's one of my custom barrels that I physically cut myself, so I know what the barrel is. It's not hodgepodge crap from their factory, and I'll say that. But the upper and the lower is a machine set together. My tolerances are very tight because they were machined together. And that's the biggest down. And I've talked to the guys, like, that's their downfall is your tolerances. This is why you get the name that you get when you have tolerances that are so loose on between this upper and this lower that were made on a Monday and one was made on a Tuesday. And yes, Alex, every gun shop and gun store has been getting pounded with people that don't necessarily understand or have the type of knowledge that a lot of people do in the firearms industry that have been in it for a while. Not pervertedly like how you're insinuating.
No, it's been, yeah. I mean, it's coming down, which actually the last couple of weeks it's picking back up again because of certain things going on in our country. But yeah, the business has been booming, that's for sure. And it is mostly people who just out of nowhere decided I need to get a gun. So that's
exactly.
That's what I've seen anyway.
We have Mr. Boom Country that's going to join in.
Cool.
What's going on, Mr. Boom Country? Hydrographics.
Now, I'm going to apologize ahead of time. My bench looks like garbage because I am loading for a match as we speak.
No, you're good, brother.
So you might see stuff that you wouldn't normally see when I'm on this. So,
no, you're good.
Yeah,
turn and burn.
I'm running 90 grains of powder every 2 seconds and dropping bullets as fast as I can.
Turn and burn, brother. You'll be all right.
We're gonna head for Wyoming and shoot some 2,200 yard targets with the 338 Edge. We're gonna go to the Applied Ballistics booth, and they're gonna run all the workup for us. Applied Ballistics is gonna be out there all weekend, and one of the sponsors of the match, so we thank them.
Hell yeah! Congratulations on your new tripod.
You know what? Thank you. That was kind of a surprise to me too. Pretty fortunate to have those guys to, I've been donating to Slav for a little while, and just he had a members only giveaway, and I threw my name in the hat, I think, one time compared to everything. You could go like daily and everything. I went in, I did one time, and I'm like, you know what? That's good enough for me. I just buy everything I need. And I got fortunate. So.
Oh yeah.
That. But other than that, it's getting to be a busy summer, and
that light that's right behind your head, right there, where you're sitting.
Let me kill that one. Hold on.
I was about to say that thing is brutal.
Yeah, I'm old and I need my eyes.
What are
And
you talking about, MCK? You mean I'm not an instant expert because I watched a single video on, any one of my firearms? I thought that would then make me like, a master armor on that single firearm,
I'm an enthusiast. I'm not anything. There's
man,
always somebody smarter. There's always somebody better.
you're
And
one
there's
of the
always
best
more to learn.
Ceratoders in the Midwest.
What's that?
You're one of the best Ceratoders in the Midwest.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, but I would have to beg to differ. There's guys I look up to in the area that do that stuff. But I sure try my darndest, and I want it to leave like it's mine, and I'm pretty persnickety. So if I would pick something apart, I try to make sure that's redone, even if, unfortunately, if it costs me money before it goes out to the customer. I would rather have them say I took forever than I didn't do a good job. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I want to send my my MDT chassis up to you, and have you Ceratode it for me. I don't know when I'm going to get time to, but
well, maybe we'll have to look into that and get that done. I've got my MDT chassis getting some Cerakote here. When I get back, I got to get some stuff ordered, and that's going to be pretty cool colors. I got a little different thing. I like to be different than everybody else. I can't be the same. Huge proponent of being different. If somebody tells me I shouldn't, gives me crap that I wouldn't run a pink gun, I'm going to show up with a pink gun.
see, you're like me. That's why I run the Gay Tiger 2-round holder on the side of my rifles.
Right. And I would probably do that at some point. I mean, if I got into the GT, which is a great round, I'm just an old school proponent. So my next build, I am actually headed out. Northwest Guns and I are headed to Wyoming, and my action is sitting with him as we speak. So I will be bringing that home when I come home for my new build. I got sponsored by Pristine Actions this year, and they got a little bit behind schedule on packing and shipping, and they are now out, and mine is there.
Hell yeah, brother! Congratulations on your new sponsorship, dude. That's
So
awesome.
I'm gonna run an old school 243 for PRS.
I still haven't shot a 243. I've never shot a 243. Freaks everybody out, but I've never shot one.
That makes three of us. Never shot a 243.
You're the oddball out on this one.
But that's all right. It's in the 6mm class of family. It's I've got one right now that I've been running in a Ruger Precision, and I know everybody dreaded Ruger Precision, but you know what? When I first started and wasn't sure that I was going to keep up with this sport or knew I would like this sport, why a Ruger Precision was the easy way in. I ended up with a 6.5 Creedmoor, and a buddy of mine found out I had a 6.5 Creedmoor. I did some work for him, and he found me a Gen 1 Ruger 243, which is now my son's favorite firearm. And a good friend of mine, he ran it for a whole season with Blue Box Federal just because he wanted to see if he liked the game before he built his 6.5 284.
Gotcha. See, everybody, like, this as well as I do. We both run the same type of competitions. Everybody wants to talk really bad about the Ruger and the Savage production class rifles. But man, if that's what you can afford to get out and go run a match, buy it and be the best you can be at that match with it.
Run what you brung. I'm a big proponent of that. I usually have an extra Ruger Precision sitting in my car with enough rounds that if somebody showed up at a match and says, God, they'd let me in, but I don't have a rifle or I don't have ammo, I'd just tell them squat them with me. And we got, I usually just say, if you got the money, throw me the money for the ammo. And if not, enjoy the day.
I think you and I were at this was a few years ago, when we were both getting started in the NRL PRS thing. I think it was you when I was running my Aero 30. It might not have been you. I was running my Aero Precision 308, and I mean it completely just took a shit in the middle of day 2, and I stripped it completely down, changed a barrel out on the back of a side by side, and went back to chucking lead with went from a 24-inch barrel down to a 16 5-inch barrel just so I could finish.
Yeah, I hear you there.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I wish my one complaint with PRS is the cost prohibitiveness of getting into a match. You know what I mean?
Oh, I hear you. Yeah.
That's my one complaint.
You know, just right now, everything gets the cost for a match. You know, we're looking. We got Wyoming coming up. I'm looking. I'm 350 in fuel each direction, dang near. You know,
And that's assuming gas doesn't go up while you're there.
right. That's just what I have budgeted for now. I told my partner, I said we're going to be eating like college roommates back in the day, ramen cups and burritos. But we don't got to do what you got to do to enjoy the day.
Oh, I agree. Absolutely. But you're coming up to, or I guess down to, not really up to, Gap Grind, right? Have you signed up yet?
No. I can't make Gap Ground. I've got some other commitments I have to do first.
Is Northwest coming down?
Nope, neither of us will make that one. He is gonna be the next one. We're in Wyoming together. Then got one more that we're together at prior to September. He lives about 8.5 hours from me.
Gotcha.
So we only get together a few times. Well, we do as much as we can. But I video here and he videos there, and I help him with his YouTube channel because I don't have the time to have my own, and I don't want my own.
Gotcha.
I want to run my business, and if I've got time to video, I'll video and throw it under his and let him succeed. And I am here to run mine and me succeed. And my son has started helping me now. And so we are ramping up to when I get back, we will be 100% caught up on all the old stuff and doubled on. We'll be able to double production.
Gotcha.
So
Well,
he's
yeah,
getting
dude.
good enough. I've got him just doing the sandblasting for now, which is what is enough to free me up to do all the painting right now. He's practicing on painting. I've got him working on his own project of mine. He's working on my Valkyrie right now, so he picked out paint scheme color for it out of the stuff we had here, and I need to use up anyway. So I told him to go crazy and show me what he can do, and if he proves himself, he will move on to customer work.
Oh yeah, brother.
If not, he will do his 1911 as his next project.
Dude, you got to teach them. Like they just got to learn. Get out and do it. Like get out.
Right. And I told him, I don't care. You mess up, don't mess up. You know, I said, I'm going to make you redo everything you mess up. So just get used to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome. I wish, like now, like I did 3 separate apprenticeships before I ever got my master armors. Till I was comfortable enough doing master armor work, I did 3 separate apprenticeships.
Yep.
And I wish there was more people that are like yourself and myself that would let somebody do an apprenticeship, whether it be their child or their buddy's son, their buddy's whatever, your son, daughter, that would let them do this with them to learn. Because if we don't teach them, that generation doesn't know.
No, and you know, the Cerakote work I really like for him because he doesn't. no matter what happens in politics right now,
He can always paint.
he can always paint. He can turn around and he can move this into auto body. He can move this into motorcycle custom upgrades. He can move it into just household upgrades like doorknobs and hinges that don't look antique-ish enough for the lady that wants to have them look perfectly 1960s brassed up or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
That's all stuff that Cerakote allows.
Oh, I agree. I'm right there with you, man. Like 100%.
And he can do it right out of my little shop in the basement, and he doesn't have to go anywhere. He hates crowds. He's got some other struggles he's gonna run with throughout his life, but he's working hard every day to get over them. You know.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the great thing. Like teaching our kids a trade or a skill, because eventually, if we don't pass on our trade or our skill onto the next generation, it's a lost skill. I mean, really, you don't see any blacksmiths and true metalsmiths anymore. Very rarely do you see a true blacksmith anymore.
No, and we got an awesome knife maker up in Bismarck, and my son wants to mess a little bit with that. Down the road, I'll probably let him just to see what he thinks of it. I'll probably take him up to visit that guy first because he was just on one of the competition TV shows and just won.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see what happens. And I happen to have a friend that knows him real well, so I can probably get a chance for my son to go up there and see what he actually does.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. You're going to the King of 1 Mile?
We're hoping. Don't know if we'll get there. It'll depend on funds. Everything's fund related at this point.
What match are you going to?
That hit me hard, and so I'm struggling to catch up and make sure I don't fall behind.
I get you there. What match are you going to this weekend?
This one is the Night Force ELR in Wyoming.
Okay.
They call it the ELR steel match. The real ELR shooters call it dirty PRS because it's a belly match.
Gotcha.
800 to 2,200 yards, PRS style shooting, 2 shots per target, 4 targets per stage.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah,
Most
dude.
people will be shooting 7 SAUM and up, some 25 SAUM probably through there. Some guys can say you can shoot at lesser calibers because as long as you hit all the 800 to 1,500 targets, you're going to score well enough to do all right. I just decided I wanted to go big gun and be right, you know. I want to know if I hit it, and if I don't, I don't, you know. But I ain't going to learn anything if I don't try.
What optic are you running?
This match, this year I've been working with GPO, but this match, because of this gun, I did not get a minute to switch over to the GPO, so I am going to run the Razor Gen 2 with the Horus 3 reticle in it.
Mills, MOA?
Oh, all mills.
So what do you think? So let's say everybody that's still in the live chat here, they want to get involved to long range. And let's say their budget on a rifle is 2,500. Their budget on an optic is 1,500. And let's say they could only buy factory ammo. What would you suggest anybody to get into for that common caliber and they want to reach, let's say, 1,250?
Okay, well, of course, and unfortunately, it's just because there's so many of them out there now. There's 6.5 Creedmoor. 6.5 PRC would be another good one. Definitely either one of those trains. Or if you can find, oh, you won't find a SOM for that price on a $2,500 rifle, but
You'd find a 300 Win Mag.
it could do a 300 Win Mag. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a little more abusive. The 6.5 PRC is a little better. I shot my buddies. He jumped in on one of them. The thing's a go-getter. If you could, if you could have somebody custom build for 2,500 with the right, pick a chassis, don't go high-end stock. Don't go, there's several $500 stocks out there. If they can build you a rifle or do an assembled one, like have all the action come in, do a pre-fit barrel. All my stuff is pre-fit right now because I don't have a lathe access, and my guy is always busy that I use as a gunsmith. So I always feel like I'm bugging him. All right. And he deals with some bigger shooters than me, so I like to make sure he takes care of the big guys.
I respect that. And I get it. I do.
So I do a lot of pre-fit stuff right now, and my accuracy is right there with the rest of it. All my pre-fit stuff is done right here in my shop. My 22 Creedmoor, both of my 22 Creedmoors. Now my 338 was built over in my buddy's shop that I told you that usually does all my work, but it's like I said, it's one of those things where it's time and getting it shipped over there and getting it back, and he's 8 hours from me on the other direction. So if we're not shipping back and forth, it's trying to find time to run over there to get it, because I work 3 jobs. Yeah. So, I have 2 jobs. I'm an archery tech still at my second job. I also sell guns there. I don't do many major sales out of my stuff. Only painting and upgrades. I'm a huge Elfman fan for triggers.
See, you and I are on the same page with that. I love Elfman Tactical.
Well, and they treat me so good that, I kind of stick with who takes care of me too. I'm not saying I've shot the others, and everybody's welcome to like what they like, but there's a guy in town that deals in other brands. I let him deal in other brands. I handle Elfman.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. So, all right, now we'll talk a little bit about the optics side of it, because you and I both know that MRAD and Mills does cost more than MOA. Generally speaking, I don't understand why. It's just a different type of mathematical shit. But anyways, the clicks are still the same. Like a click is still a click. But would you, because you and I both run Mills, and a lot of my guys in the comment section here, they run MOA, or a lot of them do run MOA. What would be a good Mills scope that you would maybe consider referring somebody to if their budget is, let's say, 1,500, maybe 1,800? Like, they want to get out, they want to run production class, they don't want to run unlimited class like yourself.
For the money, the GPO if you can handle the reticle, which I 1/2 mil reticles on the GPO, the Spectre 6, the glass is phenomenal for that money. And when I say phenomenal, I mean I will put it up against my razors. I have 2. I'll put it up against them in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but the GPO would put them in open division, wouldn't it, for the price point?
Isn't that's 1,500 to 1,800?
Is it MSRP?
Yeah,
or is that?
I believe so. I don't think it's at 2. No, and it's going to come down actually. We've been in talks with them, so that will come down here in the near future. They are working on another reticle with Christmas tree style reticle as well. That we've started working with them to have long range and a Christmas tree in it. Very nice reticle. I can't leak it yet. But we've been in talks with them and really working with them on their product on that. And So we've been going back and forth and getting everything done.
What about you, Mr. Affordable? What do you think? I don't know if you've been listening to everything that I was asking Mr. Boom Country.
No, I stepped away for a minute. Sorry.
Okay, so I was asking Mr. Boom Country. So you deal with a lot of pistol, but I'm sure you've also dealt with your fair share of rifles. I was asking Mr. Boom Country here, if he was to suggest a rifle for anybody in our comment section that was wanting to get into long range. Their price point, their cutoff price point on the max side for the rifle would have to be 2,500. Their optic cutoff point would have to be 1,800 MSRP. And I say run Mills. Boom Country says run Mills also. A lot of guys in my comments run MO8. What would you suggest for somebody that wanted to get into something like this?
Oh man.
Because there's a lot more now than what there used to be. I won't
Sure.
argue that.
Sure. Honestly, and you can feel free to disagree with me. I'm gonna say a Ruger American 308, and then spend the money on a good scope. Go get a Leopold or something like that. That is first focal plane. And do that route, because I mean a $400 Ruger American will suit you just fine, and if you want to later on, you can build that into a chassis style rifle. There's plenty of aftermarket support for a gun like that, and get it in a 308 or a 6.5 Creedmoor, because both of those are commonly found cartridges, and you can run that all day. So that would
I
be
agree. I agree to that to some extent. I would maybe step up a little bit over the Ruger American, especially. I think I would more step towards the side of the Ruger RPR over the Ruger American. Just personal opinion.
Sure.
Because it's already in a chassis. It's already got ARCA on it on the Gen 3s. It's got all that stuff already integrated in the chassis. And ARCA is kind of a big deal in NRL and PRS.
What about running a 6.5 Bagheera?
Yeah, that would be a good one too.
Yeah,
That'd be like $1,000 gun, right around about $1,000 gun.
Yeah. So that was going to be my next one. Is if you don't go with the Ruger American, then like you said, the RPR is a good choice because it's already in a chassis. But my next one would be a Bergara or even maybe a Howa.
So what about optic wise?
Optics wise, I'm not that picky. I like the Leopold Mark IV series.
So you got to remember,
HDs.
so to stay in production class with PRS, which the cutoff for the rifle is 2,500, the cutoff for the optic is, I think they raised it to 2,100 this year on MSRP.
Sure.
I'm not for sure. I know I run right on the limits on optic, but
so they have price limits.
Yeah, it's price limits. Like your rifle has to be MSRP less than 2,500. Your optic, I think MSRP has to be right below. Is it 2,100 now, or is it? Because I know they raised it. I don't know what they raised it to.
I don't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to look.
I know they raised it. I see a lot of guys talk about Athlon in the comment section. I have no experience with Athlon.
Arkin is really good economical scope for money also. Northwest just got one of them, and they are unreal.
So I have no experience with Arkin or Athlon, but I do have a lot of experience with Riton.
Riton are good too.
I've loved every single one of my Riton optics I've ever gotten. They're a little busy, but I've loved them.
I know.
I haven't tried
What
one of
about
those
like
yet.
a Monstrum tactical?
I've got a Monstrum in right now. It's the 6-24 HD, first focal plane, and they're only like what, 350 something like that. It's a super cheap scope for a first focal plane, especially.
So the big thing with PRS is you want zero stop. So I'll address MCs right here. The Vortex Diamondback does not have zero stop. So that's a big thing that you want PRS because you're dialing quite a bit. You got to return to zero for your cold bore dead shot zero.
That zero stop has saved me so many times. And then I've also forgotten so many times that I've even had it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, zero stop will make or break a match, especially on the cold bore dead zeros. Playing card shot, the aces. I don't know if y'all do aces there or what y'all do in country, but a lot of them here it's an ace card, dead shot zero cold bore.
Once in a while, the guys will sneak in a 50-yard playing card shot. You'll draw a number and you'll have to shoot that number 2 rounds. You'll get first round hit, second round hit. Cold bore, but excuse me. But yeah, it's everybody's different around here. A lot of times we'll have a 300-400 yard cold bore shot.
So it's all relative. It sounds like it's relative on your area.
It is, and just on the guys setting it up, and they try to be, the guys that set our shoots up do really, really well. I'm hoping, and I haven't gotten out there yet to really look at it. My cousin bought a new piece of property, so maybe next year I can host one as well. With his new piece of property, but we'll have to go take a look at it and see what it pertains and curtains and see if I can make something work. But yeah, no, it's the only problem with hosting one is you don't get to shoot them. That's the or not. You could shoot it, but you're not going to enjoy the whole thing.
Yeah,
because you got stuff to do and people to check on and all that. But the point is, I want to see more people shoot out here, and that's why I do what I do, and that's why, pretty much anybody says, hey, do you do this or do you do that? Yeah, you want to go shoot? If they want to try it, they get to go try it.
I mean, that's why I'm competing with the Ruger RPR and 22 long rifle in 22 matches this year, just to prove that a $400 Ruger RPR and 22 long rifle can hold with a Voodoo Tactical.
Does just fine. That's awesome. Seen a lot of issues with the Voodoos.
I mean, I'm holding with Voodoo guys at the NRL 22 matches in Fort Campbell affordable. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm holding shot for shot with those guys. I'm beating the Bergara B14 guys. I'm beating the Unlimited guys. And just shot for shot.
Are you running any of the aftermarket stuff for that gun?
Nope, completely factory.
Really?
100% factory.
That's awesome.
And a little bit ago, I saw somebody had up on the screen that they were loading 243 for 100 grain soft points. That's kudos because that's what most hunters use around here. I'm 105 grain Bowtail hollow points out of my 243. Totally a blast. When the prairie dogs have been shot at for so much of the day and then they want to come up at 600-700 yards, they don't got a chance.
No. Yeah, Mr. MCK was talking about that. Mr. MCK and Mr. John H have been like original OG subscribers to my channel from like my first video ever that has like 35 views on it. Like very first subscribers I ever had. And Mr. Eagle Run 23, he's very OG. I don't think Affordable follows me. I don't know. He might.
I think I did subscribe to you.
Did you? Okay.
It sucks when you don't remember if you resized a whole box of brass.
What brass are you using this year? Lapua?
For the 338 Edge, I'm running ADG. For the new 243 build, I've got Lapua coming. I have been running in the 22 Creedmoor. I am running only because I could only find some 6mm Nosler to neck down. I'm running Nosler Premium.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was all that was available at that point in time.
So Mr. MC has a question. We've all been here. Anybody that has done PRS, we've all used a camera tripod. So he's got a heavy duty camera tripod. What is a good clamp for holding a rifle? Bog Death Grip? I have a Bog Death Grip. I personally like the tripod as itself for
MC, if you go to my Instagram and you look it up there, the new tripod I got is a camera tripod that and don't quote me, I believe I know who they're making for a few people out there. It comes with ARCA, and they have a grip that is ARCA attachable and as well for rifle, for any rifle. So you'll see it up there. Mine using ARCA and or their thing for my AR that does not have ARCA for my night vision one. The bogs are all right. There's nothing wrong with them. But if you're like mine's Sunway Photo, that's what my tripod is for my rifle tripod.
Now, do you have the Really Right Stuff ARCA head on there, or do you have?
I have their ARCA head that came with an ARCA ball head, and it came with a like a death grip clamp or bog pod clamp. They sent it with all of that as part of the deal for this shoot.
Oh yeah.
So is it the best ball head? Probably, absolutely. I'm going to say probably not, but it was a little gritty when I got it. But I'm going to throw some powdered in the graphite in there and loosen it up a little bit, and it's going to be just fine.
Oh yeah. What about you, Mr. Affordable or G23?
I was going to ask Boom about running like a liquid powder graphite versus running just a straight powder graphite.
I think either would be fine. It's just the graphite will collect less dust than a lot of the oils you'll put in there.
And what about
And
you,
that's-
Mr. Affordable?
I don't really have any experience with tripods. My shooting experience with rifles has all been your standard positions. So shooting in prone, shooting from seated, and shooting from standing, supported and unsupported. So don't really have any input on the tripod.
We gotta get you gotta get you up here and come down to the range with me sometime. We'll shoot some videos and I'll teach you some positional shooting off of barricades and stuff like that. Like crazy barricades, not normal barricades, what you think of.
Right.
We'll put you on a swing. Everybody loves the swing at every PRS match.
Oh, I hate that swing. And I hate spinners. Although now a friend of mine says he does have a spinner, and so now I need to get up to his place and practice on it. Because now that he has one available, it makes no sense for me not to go practice.
That's a very good possibility, MC. So Boom Country, you're right up there where Fat Boy Tripods is from. Have you heard of those guys?
I heard the name, but I haven't checked them out yet. I don't know. And a lot of these places, I don't. So yeah, I haven't checked them out yet. Honestly, I have not. I don't know what their prices are. I've seen them come across, but I have not went in and started snooping around. And I don't know where they're coming out of. You know, was it Nebraska? Was it Minnesota? Where are they out of? Iowa. Okay. So I'm not far from them. A good 12-hour drive, but in our neck of the woods, a 12-hour drive is nothing.
Yeah, in my neck of the woods, 12-hour drive is a stroke.
Right. But we have, you got to remember, I grew up where the nearest neighbor was a mile and a half away.
Yeah.
So if you were lucky. But yeah, so no, I haven't checked those guys out yet. I'm sure I will get to if we go to SHOT Show again this year, which we are planning on. But
so
it, again, will all depend on.
So a lot of their tripods look a lot like the Suntofo, or I don't know how you say it.
Sunphoto?
Yeah. Their tripods look very, very similar to that. And I know they got in trouble from Tuvet's tripods over their two-leg design with the clasp. Tuvet's was like, no, that's copyright issues or trademark issues. Because I want to say they were using the same lock.
Oh, gotcha.
And I want to say that
I think a lot of them end up using a lot of the same components because it's getting to be like certain things, okay? There's only so many styles of bags you can come up with out there before you're crossing somebody's path, if you will.
I agree. It's just like MPA and MDT where when they got in the legal battle over the bubble level integrated into the chassis. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
And I want to say MPA won it based on like 2 days before when their patent was granted and the other one's patent was granted. It was like 2 days. So
yeah, it's it's crazy. There's only so many ways, and you see a new chassis come up, okay? And I love all the chassis makers out there, but all of a sudden they're all starting to look the same.
I 100% agree. Like my Area 419 chassis looks almost identical to MDT chassis with the bridge on it now.
Now, I think I'm pretty much stuck where I'm at for chassis. I'm going to be an old dog and found one, and I'm trying something new. You're going to have to pull my teeth and beg me. I will probably be staying with Scott McCree and his chassis. That's what's going to be on the new one that's coming.
Gotcha.
And that's what's on my 338 one now. And the reason is simplicity.
Gotcha.
Is MDT good? Because again, this isn't my wheelhouse at all.
MDT is
I've been
a great chassis,
and
ACC. MDT is an amazing chassis.
I've been seeing that a lot on factory guns recently, and they're like, "Comes with an MDT chassis," and I'm like, "Okay, is that good?"
MDT has a contract with Savage, where Savage and MDT are. I don't know exactly how the contract works, but if you get a Savage Precision with an MDT chassis, go through it because Savage is not tightening down all the screws like they're supposed to, and they're giving a bad rep to to MDT. But an MDT chassis, they're nice chassis. I've got a couple.
Hey guys, I apologize. I got to run.
All right, peace out, Boom.
Yep, have a good night.
Be
nice
safe,
meeting y'all. Mr.
Yep,
Affordable
have a good night,
D23.
Be safe.
Yep. Thank you.
Let me know how you do.
Will do. Thank you.
Yep. So yeah, MDT is a great company. And their customer service is probably one of the best. Like you can contact them on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and their customer service will literally respond within a day. If you want some information on MDT, do you know who Impact Shooting is?
No, I don't actually.
So look up Impact Shooting. His name is Pete. He's in South Africa, and he runs the crap out of MDT chassis. So he's good people. But
MC said MDT is on Savage. That's probably where I saw it. I couldn't remember exactly, but like I said, I've been seeing it come on factory guns.
yeah, and I think Bagara started putting some of their stocks. Some of the stocks that MDT makes are on some of the new Bagaras too.
Mm-hmm.
They just bought Sendit Levels. I don't know if you know who Sendit is or not.
Mm-mm.
So Sendit Levels, it's a percentage, it's an angle percentage or an angle level that lights up red, blue, green, red, blue, green, or green, blue, red. Blue is you're kind of straight, but you're not really straight. Green is your level, send it, and then so on and so forth. So why it's called the send it level. MDT just bought those levels, and those levels are some superb levels. Especially for somebody like me, I'm blind in one eye, so I can see the colors change. I can't see a bubble level, even though I have bubble levels on my scopes.
Yeah. What about Christensen Arms? What do you think about them?
Christensen makes very good actions, but their carbon fiber barrels,
Mm-hmm.
I will 100% say, without a question of the doubt, stay away from carbon fiber barrels.
They wear out too quick, or
no? So if you're doing repeatability shots, like let's say you're trying to zero your rifle and it's taking you 10, 15 shots to zero your rifle at 100 yards, your zero is going to shift based on the heat of the barrel, and your cold bore shot's going to be completely different.
right.
Go with a heavy contour barrel. My barrels are about an inch in diameter at the thread for the muzzle brake. So I run very thick, very heavy barrels. So
basically, like by the time you get a gun like that zeroed, you've obviously fired multiple rounds, and then the next time you go to shoot that gun, you're gonna feel like your zero is off.
Yeah, because the harmonics in the carbon fiber, it's designed for like one shot pony.
Mm-hmm.
It's designed for a hunting rifle. I mean, a backpack rifle.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go with a carbon fiber barrel, if you want my opinion.
Sure.
If I had to choose between a Bear Creek Arsenal and carbon fiber, I'd pick a Bear Creek Arsenal. How about that?
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
I've got a lot of disdain for carbon fiber.
Sure. Well, I mean, they make a 338 Lapua too. Probably a 50 BMG, I would imagine.
Yeah, but any of those companies like Bagara, CZ, Christensen Arms, Savage, MPA, Curtis, Wooks, Longhorn, Bighorn, Defiance, any of those actions that they make that are pre-fitted to barrels, you've got a good rifle. I mean, even with Howa, Howa's been making barrels for all these different companies for years. And then they just decided that, okay, well, we're going to start making our own actions and selling our own rifles. And that's why Howard rifles have done so good. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Howard made barrels for Savage for years and Remington for years and Ruger and all these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Bagara was the same way. They were making barrels for people for forever. And then just got into the action making of it. And that's why you see a Bagara rifle going for $1,500-$1,800, depending on which rifle it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that unheard of. MC says it best. Carbon fiber is good for pop-up tents.
Wow.
I'd argue that it's good for the hood of your car and for your dashboards.
Yeah. John, delete that comment with the JP rifles. You can't put stuff like that in there. You're gonna get me banned and struck down.
Yeah, carbon
But-
fiber, good for a lot of things, but not for
Not a
guns.
barrel, man.
Yeah.
Unless see, right there. CVA muzzleloader with a Bagara barrel.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know that. It's like Howa is Cold Hammer forged
Mm-hmm.
in Japan. That's like the original OGs to metal manufacturing. So, like, of things like that. I mean, they made swords for years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think they know it. I think they can form a little bit of metal. I don't know.
I'd like to stay on, but I gotta get dinner going and get ready for work in the morning. So
Yeah, I figured next 15 minutes it's getting late here, so I got work
Yeah.
in the morning.
Right on. Yeah, this is definitely my longest live chat I've ever been a part of.
Sorry.
That's all good, man.
I didn't mean to break some records.
That's why I took a break. I was like, okay, this is still going. Let me pause for a minute.
affordable. You should come on one of my Saturday streams. We've been gone 6 hours.
I know. I've seen that. I've hopped in a couple times and or just to say hi, but
But I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of, and this is kind of what I was talking about GT3 last night. Like, we can get a little sidetracked on all of our conversations,
mhm.
and then we can bring it right back around and still continue to talk about what we were talking about and keep it going. That's the biggest thing, is keeping the conversation rolling.
Yeah. G23, man, send me an invite sometime. I'll hop in. I don't think I can do 6 hours, but I'll hop on for an hour or two.
Yeah, we've been cutting it back to like 3 hours here lately. 2.5, 3 hours.
See ya, MCK. Have a good week.
Yeah.
I got to get to uploading more. I haven't uploaded in probably a month on my channel. This is the first live that I've done probably a month, and it was probably my biggest turnout on a live, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Made everybody wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Biggest thing is consistency there, man. Gotta,
dude, I'm so bit.
Gotta
So I
commit
shoot
to it.
41 matches a year,
Yeah.
and so I'm a little busy. Like,
Mhm.
between that and work, I've got kids and stuff like that. Like,
Sure.
I don't mean to be rude, but like, YouTube's not my top priority in life.
No, that's not
if that
rude
makes
at
sense.
all. That's not rude at all, man. I have the luxury of being single. I don't have a wife or kids to worry about, and I also happen to work with guns, as I mentioned earlier. So, you know, and I honestly hate editing. That's my least favorite. So if that was your reason, then I get it. But yeah, it's definitely something. It's a time commitment, and I have the luxury of having time because I don't have any of those other things going on.
Well, I'm gonna start sending you all my videos I need edited, send them to you in an
No,
email.
I just said I hate editing.
and be like, Mr. Affordable.
I barely ever edit my videos. You know, my extent of editing is I might put some words on the screen, and I may put some like little gifs in there so that like all of a sudden you see the dog's eyes getting wide. Like, really, did you just do that or something? That's my extent of like editing. I don't really edit.
Hey man, I used iMovie on my iPhone for the first like year and a half, but that's all I did. The videos were recorded with my iPhone and edited on my iPhone. So I hear you.
Mr.
I
MC in 3 weeks. Yes, I am. I will attempt the world record in 3 weeks.
Yep. But I use my cell phone and I use Video Guru because it's free. Two, they don't put any watermarks on your videos if you don't pay. Of course they have a paid version like everyone does. But like if you're using some of the other free, if you don't pay for their monthly service or their yearly service, then they watermark your video.
Yeah.
But Video Guru doesn't do that, so that's the reason why I use them.
I'm gonna get an iPad eventually. Like I'm not lying when I say this. I am gonna get an iPad for iMovie. But everything I have is Android. All the coding I do for everything is on Android. So going to Apple scares the crap out of me because I have Android for everything. And
I don't know. I'm not a big Apple fan. I just don't like their proprietary operating systems. So the main reason why I don't use Windows, I run Linux. So I don't run proprietary operating systems.
well, let me tell you about my experience with the last laptop I bought. When I first started my channel, I was working with Mr. CRS Firearms, and he was telling me what to do, how to build my channel, and how to do it. And I was like, all right, cool. And he sent me a link to a laptop to pick up at Walmart. I picked up said laptop, went to go edit one video on it, and I got the blue screen of death. And I was like, what in the actual fuck? So I was like, this sucks. So I returned it and never bought another laptop since. And I'm like, I was actually pretty frustrated about it.
If I buy a laptop or a desktop, a prefab, so it's already built and everything, I'm not building it myself, then the first thing I do is erase Windows and put Linux on there. So I'd rather order a laptop or a desktop with no OS at all. Save myself $400 just in the OS operating system, and then install Linux on it.
I get that. That's kind of been my hardest thing too. And I work on a computer all day, every day at work. And to be brutally honest with you, the last thing I want to do all day, every day after work is get on a computer. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I really don't. When I'm at home, I don't want to be on the computer. I normally put my phone on Do Not Disturb. And like I know I've texted you back pretty quick, G23, but normally when you text me, it might be days till you hear back from me. Because I'm like, no, I don't want to deal with this. You know what I mean? Or then you have days like today where I send everybody 15 different messages. Are you coming on? Are you coming? Come on. But yeah, we'll have to go to Affordables next weekend.
If you sent me any text today, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, like, it's really weird. My service went out, but my wife's service is still working, and we have the same phone company, and we're like 5 feet apart. and I don't have service, but she does.
Affordable. Were you in Nashville when the Christmas attack happened?
Yeah, actually, I was.
I didn't know if you were there yet or not.
Yeah, I woke up. So I have AT&T for both my cell phone and my internet, and so I woke up and all I wanted to do was call my family and tell them Merry Christmas, and I couldn't do that, and I was like, "What in the heck is going on?" And so I hopped in my car and drove over to a friend's house. Who he wasn't there, but I was able to get on his Wi-Fi and find out what the heck was going on. And so I messaged him like, "Hey, I'm in your driveway. If your security camera goes off, it's just me. I'm just trying to call my mom and dad, tell them Merry Christmas." He's like, "Yeah, you're fine, man." So
What days are you off from the shop and not teaching, where I can give you like come up and do some rifle classes with me?
Well, man, that's I mean, I can definitely make myself available.
I don't
Generally,
know if you're religious or not, or if you go to church on Sundays or anything like that, but that's generally the days I do rifle courses.
on Sundays.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do go to church on Sundays. But I can make exceptions. There are definitely.
Well, I don't want to deprive you from something like that if you enjoy going. I normally do all of that on Sundays, but
Gotcha.
we could always do it a Sunday evening. It wouldn't matter to me. Like Sunday afternoon. It's summertime now. It doesn't get dark till 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool, man.
Yeah, we can go up. We are planning an event. The private range I shoot at, it's getting ready to open to the public. We're going to try to make an event out of it opening to the public where we get a bunch of different channels out there and help promote it and be like, hey, it's open.
Mhm.
This is like, if you want to come shoot with, bye, John, have a good night. Come out and shoot long range. Like, let's say you want to shoot with myself or somebody wants to shoot with yourself. We've got 4 pistol bays, a CQB, not really CQB, but gas rifle bay, a 22 bay, and then the long range bay.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, that'd be
So-
cool.
you got an AR-10, I'm assuming.
Me? No, actually, I don't.
You have a 308, 6.5 Creed.
I have a couple of 308 rifles. Yeah.
Bring your 308. I know
Okay.
the dope for the 308 off the top of my head.
Mhm.
We'll get you out to it. Have you shot 1,000?
Once when I was in the military.
Have you shot 1,200?
No,
Have you shot a mile?
definitely not a mile. No.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have you take that 308 out to a mile
Okay.
off of a tank trap. I don't really know about off of a tank trap, but we're gonna have you go out to a mile. 308.
Okay. That'd be cool.
I've done it with the gas rifle. I'm building a 6 arc right now.
Mhm.
I'm flirting with it. I bought the dies. I bought the barrel blank. I bought the barrel reamer and everything.
Mhm.
And I've got brass and I've got projectiles and I've got powder and everything to flirt with it with.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I want a 6 arc.
We're still going on our first stage right now. So we're
That's
still on first base.
Yeah, that's a cool little round, and we have a couple of those in the shop that I don't think anyone knows what it is. It's so new. I mean, maybe
Is it
it's been
in-
around longer in your world, but as far as like the everyday commercial market, it's
Are yours
really
in
only-
gas or bolt action?
It's their ARs, yeah.
Who is it?
ATI, I think.
24-inch barrels?
No,
16.5?
yeah,
Ugh.
the standard length. They may be 18-inch barrels. I don't remember exactly.
Ugh.
But
But all right,
Well,
guys. Well, we're gonna shut it down, and I think I sent you my phone number on Instagram. If not, I'll send it to you again.
mhm.
Let me know about the mechanic stuff.
Yeah, I will definitely look into that.
We can meet at Mid South one day or something like that, and I can pick. I don't know. Have you ever been to Mid South?
No,
You've never been to Mid South?
no. Where's that at?
Clarksville, exit 11
Oh, okay.
in Clarksville. Yeah. So, oh man, I got to get you into Mid South, man.
Yeah,
I'll
I gotta-
introduce you to Steve and Ryan Checkler and all those guys down there.
yeah. Might make a trip up there on a weekend or something.
Well, they're only open Monday through Friday.
Oh, are they really? Okay. Well,
Yeah. I can't believe you've never heard of Mid South Shooter Supply.
yeah.
So,
we'll look them up.
do you do the ordering at the shop, or does
No.
I bet you the guy that does the ordering knows who Mid South is. Do y'all sell reloading components?
Used to, not so much anymore.
Okay, I'm sure he probably ordered a lot of it from them or manufacturer.
Gotcha.
So, but either way, guys, y'all be safe. I'll see you next weekend, or not next weekend. I don't know when I'll see y'all again. It might be 6 months before I do another live. But everybody be safe, and I'll see you guys then.
All right.
Have a good night.
Take care.